Yes, I know they don't have the rights to the full movie, but it still doesn't make sense to me that... Yes, okay. I'll wait however long that takes. Thanks. Love you too, man. Bye. Guess I might as well take a look at something else while I wait for Sonic 2 to be available somewhere. Hmm. Hmm. Would be fun. Not yet, though. I wanna wait till I'm done with this trilogy to review all of these. Nice one, me. Does give me an idea, though. Hey, Jan, you got any bad movies you'd recommend? When it comes to Dragon Ball, I'd say I'm in the same boat I was regarding Sonic before watching its first movie. I know a lot and I'm into the franchise, but I wouldn't call myself a full-on fan. But even as a non-fan, I've heard a lot of bad stuff regarding this movie. I thought I've been being a bit too positive with my reviews lately, so I wanted to do something different. And on Janiac's recommendation, decided to check this movie out. And this is just what the doctor ordered. Spoiler alert in effect, but with that said, brace yourselves. Because we're talking about Dragon Ball Evolution. The movie begins and we get a bunch of exposition right out the gate. We hear about how Piccolo, played by James Marsters, invaded the Earth many years ago, along with his disciple Osaru, until a group of warriors sealed him away with something called a Mafuba. Couple things. First,
to our once peaceful world.
Sure, like humanity's ever been much for peace. Second, I want you to keep this line in mind.
Who came from beyond the stars.
You'll see what I mean later. After the title card, we're introduced to Son Goku, played by Justin Chadwin, and his grandfather Gohan, played by Randall Duke Kim, whose name I most definitely just butchered. I'm sorry, sir. So we're starting off with two cliches. The typical evil guy causes trouble and then gets sealed backstory, and one of the emptiest motivational lines ever. And also, you know that I have an issue with distinguishing good performances from bad ones, but I have another issue with Chadwin. He looks nothing like Goku, and again, I don't want to get into issues about whitewashing and the like, but my point is that at no point do I ever think that this guy is supposed to be that guy. Doesn't help that his character has been written as anything but the nearly masochistic guy who loves fighting. But anyway, we see him spar with Gohan and... Okay, this fight's not too bad, save for this moment, and this. No comments. Goku loses, then fails to use his ki to, I don't know, shake that bush, and then we get a chat with his grandfather.
Teach me how to get the girl.
Look, I'll be honest, I haven't watched the anime that this movie adapts. No, I've watched, heard, and played through a lot of what happens in Dragon Ball Z. I've seen a couple episodes of Super and watched one of the movies, but I know this movie fails to adapt the original Dragon Ball anime slash manga by Akira Toriyama. But I don't know much about it save for some loose stuff I've heard and played through Dragon Ball Origins on DS. But even without knowing much, this movie has a lot more issues, as you'll see by the end. Goku gets a birthday present in the form of the 4-star Dragon Ball, which they call Susinchu, and get taught that when all 7 come together, they can grant their user a wish. Goku goes to school, and... Let me check. Uh-huh. And when did this movie come? How typical can this movie get? Anyway, he gets arrested by some bullies, but one of the girls, Chi-Chi, played by Jamie Chung, seems to have his eyes on him, just as he has his eyes on her. I feel like this is some sort of kink I don't know, and honestly, I don't think I want to know. In the meantime, Piccolo, who is never explained as to how he broke out of the seal, attacks a village in search of a Dragon Ball, assisted by his henchwoman Mai, played by Eriko Tamura. Okay, first off, brilliant hiding place, dumbass. And second of all, another character who doesn't look anything how she looks in the source material. You know, to avoid pointing out how no one looks like themselves each time, I'll just put up an image of the actual character besides the respective.
Faker!
No ill will towards the actors themselves, though. I'm sure they're all lovely people. Back at school, Goku, discreetly, helps Chi-Chi with her locker, making it apparent that Ki can just do anything in this movie, as you'll see later on, and gets invited to a party for his trouble.
Use your key.
Wait, you know about Key?
Just because my name is Chi-Chi doesn't make me a complete idiot.
Right.
Again. First off, I know there was no one else there. Speaking of which, where the hell did everybody go? But that's still just a huge stretch, assuming that he's the one who did it, even if you already know what Ki is, as we learn. And second, sure, Chi-Chi sounds a bit funny, but you didn't choose that name, and also, I feel like they're taking a stab with the source material with that line. The nerve. That night, Goku sneaks out of his house right as Gohan prepares him dinner and a cake for his birthday. Okay, that's an asshole move, Goku. Poor Gohan. Once he gets to the party, he does the typical, I'm not fighting because all I'm doing is dodging your attacks thing with the bullies, who are also in attendance. Hey, editing guy, I know I'm not the best at editing myself, but you think you could have suggested they cut out all of the slow-mo in favor of working on the script more? Also, that's just funny. He gets to speak with Chi-Chi, and then we get this tidbit.
Ever since I can remember, me and my grandpa celebrate my birthday at the exact same time.
What happened to your parents?
I don't know. But my grandpa said everything will be explained to me when I turn 18. And I'm 18.
So, you mean to tell me you thought that hitting on this girl who is only now paying attention to you was more important than spending your own birthday with your only living relative, and more important than hearing what happened to your parents? What are your fucking priorities, you son of a bitch? On top of all this, Piccolo and Mai arrive at Goku's house and kill Gohan when they see that he doesn't have the Dragon Ball. Goku, sensing something is wrong, leaves the party early and comes to his dying grandparent. Again, nice going,
Always happy to know who you are.
Never mind, I get it now. Fuck you, you old cliched geezer. And look, cliches don't ruin a movie. One of my favorite horror movies probably ever is #Alive, a zombie movie that hits a lot of beats you see in other movies in its subgenre. But it does something different by making you care and actually like the main character. I feel nothing for any of these characters, and Goku is just a dick, like we stated just a bit ago. Goku buries his grandfather after hearing that he has to find Master Roshi, and when preparing to go, he finds two things. One, the top part of his manga-accurate clothes, and two, a gun to his face. Sorry, I enjoy doing that joke too much. But alas, this is where he meets Bulma, played by Amy Rossum, who tracked the energy of his Dragon Ball.
Prometheum orb has.
Sorry, excuse me, what was that? Prometheum orb? Someone please let me know if she also calls it that in the manga or anime, cause here it sounds like a cringy name put in there by the American screenwriters. Anyway, they clear the misunderstanding and make a deal to work together to find the Dragon Balls, and they ride a capsule motorcycle to Paosu City. There, they find Roshi's house in the literal middle of nowhere and break in trying to find him or the Dragon Ball Bulma's picking up with her Dragon Ball Energy radar.
Dragon Ball Energy, D.B.E. Catchy name.
The writers really thought they were doing something there, didn't they? They accidentally wake Roshi up, played by Chow Yun-fat, again, sorry for butchering that name, in a way that actually kinda got a laugh out of me. And they fight, with Goku losing again and accidentally hurting Bulma. He tells him Gohan's dead and asks him for his Dragon Ball, and... does everyone in this movie have a brain the same size as a goddamn sensu bean? And they head over to... I don't even know, man. Well, Piccolo finds another Dragon Ball. They find Chi-Chi there again, training for a tournament. Goku and Hair barely talk about how she's different, and then the search continues, with a horrible green screen to match with the movie's overall abysmal CGI, and they fall into a trap set by Yamcha, played by June Park, who tells them to hand over the bike if they want to get out. They refuse and stay there until that night, where Roshi tells Goku and Bulma the same thing from the start of the movie.
2,000 years ago, the Earth was nearly destroyed. Not by man, but by gods from the sky.
Came from beyond the stars.
See why I wanted you to remember that part? And he also explains that they have until the eclipse before Osaru returns. Which he somehow knows. Look, they do the somehow Palpatine returned thing for Piccolo. Don't expect this movie to explain shit. They take the Dragon Ball is further below, so...
Enough games. We have no time to waste.
Why didn't you do that before? I've gotta calm down. My blood pressure's not gonna thank me for this chaos. So, they drill down with Yamcha's help and find a tunnel into what I assume is an enormous cave with a volcano, where the Dragon Ball is. Piccolo sends his potties, but Goku ends up using them as a bridge. Nice going, jackass number 91. Mai tries to stop them from leaving, but this happens. I don't know, man.
Talking to you.
Yeah,
They are showing you a future.
there's this demon.
Osaru.
Oh, so now they're demons. Okay, alright, sure, whatever. Bulma says they're running out of time, so Roshi decides to go to a monastery in the same town where Chi-Chi's tournament is being held at to try to use the Mafu Ba again, with the help of his old teacher, Sifu Norris, played by Ernie Hudson. And by the way, I forgot to mention this, but Roshi said he trained Gohan, and like... yeah, we all agree that's bullshit, right? Right, let's continue. Mai fights Chi-Chi and takes a sample of her blood, giving up the match in the process.
Else.
Something more important than me?
Okay, even as a joke, you're just coming across as a bitch. Meanwhile, Bulma and Yamcha are doing tourism around the place and decide to skip their character development, suddenly being afraid and worried for all the people who don't know about Piccolo's threat, and flirting, despite having shown no positive interest in each other. And now, we get to one of the most egregious scenes in the entire movie.
The final level of air bending technique is the Kamehameha.
They bring up element bending a few times during this movie, particularly air bending. Looking into it a little more, I saw a comment on Reddit that said that ki is a Japanese term for chi, which means air, and that may be why they decided to go with that. But looking at it like this, with those terms around this time, it's impossible not to think that it must have been partly influenced, at the very least, by Avatar: The Last Airbender. A lack of respect for the source material is already bad enough. I haven't seen anything debunking this theory, so what's stopping us from thinking someone in the writing department mixed the two up because both are technically anime? This movie is awful! But anyway, Goku tries doing the Kamehameha to light some torches, you're not gonna make me say it, and is only able to do it when Chi-Chi motivates him by exploiting his 26 to 27-year-old teenage hormones. And look, I kinda want to comment the movie on something, for once. Since we saw how Mai took Chi-Chi's blood, this could work as a way to raise tension by making you wonder if it's really her, or if it's Mai disguised as her. Or at least, that would be the case if you actually cared about anyone in this movie. Mai does impersonate Chi-Chi and tricks Goku into attacking the real one, shooting him for real this time and fleeing with the Dragon Balls. Goku starts seeing Gohan, who spots more cliches his way, and Chadwin gives his own take of the performance that's bad enough even I can notice.
Wait, are you here for me?
And Roshi revives Goku with the Kamehameha. He can just be used for fucking anything in this universe, can't it? They chase after Mai and Piccolo and stop them from summoning Shenron in the nick of time, though they do cause this dragon temple to rise with even more bad CGI. For whatever reason other than to try and win back some of the audience's goodwill, it doesn't work by the way, Goku puts his fighting uniform on to face Piccolo. But right as he does, the eclipse occurs and it causes Goku to reveal that he was Osaru all along. And honestly, not like it's a big twist. At the start of the movie, the image of him they showed had his uniform on.
You traveled by meteor to hide amongst the vermin until your 18th birthday. This is where you landed.
And now it turns out he never actually helped Piccolo destroy the world. He just had his Saiyan origin story from the start. I actually don't care anymore. Let's speedrun this shit. Goku kills Roshi. Roshi says some more cliches to him. Oh no, Yamcha's dead and I don't care. Goku turns back thanks to the power of love and fights Piccolo, finishing him off with an actual Kamehameha. Yamcha's alive, Mai's dead, Shenron gets summoned, and Goku revives the guy he met 2 days ago instead of his grandfather. He goes this part with Chi-Chi. And the movie ends, not before showing us that Piccolo survived and is being tended to by a woman. And hey, now that I think about it, Goku lost every single fight in this movie except for the one against Piccolo's putties, and this last one. Let's just get this over with. This movie is awful. The CGI is awful. You don't get to grow fond for any of the characters in this movie. Some of the performances even I can tell are half-assed. This movie deserves its rotten reputation. And yet, I don't actually have any strong feelings for it. It's just such a nothing movie. For me, at least. Janiac here, though, is a bigger fan of Dragon Ball than I am, so... Want to throw in your 2 cents, buddy?
If I do, will you let me go home?
Maybe.
Dragon Ball Evolution, or just D.B.E. Catchy. It is essentially nothing to newcomers and casual fans. It's kind of just bad in general. And to fans like me, it is a horrible, horrible disaster that should be buried for all of eternity. So, if you're a casual fan or someone new to the series, just don't watch it. And if you're a fan of the series, definitely don't watch it. You're in for a bad time.
However, we also do want to say that even this movie had a bit of a positive outcome. It's probably public knowledge at this point, but the fact this movie was so unbelievably bad. Akira Toriyama, the man who created this series, came out of retirement to clear the franchise's name and continue it. And look where it's at today. This movie sucks, but at least it let us have all of this. Thank you, Mr. Toriyama. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace indeed. So, gonna go now?
I mean, can't you fly well in this form? Well, that's about everything I can take. Of course, these reviews are just my opinions, but if you were to ask me, like Geniac said, I'd advise skipping this movie, regardless of whether you're a newcomer or a well-versed fan of Dragon Ball. It isn't worth your time, and it certainly isn't worth being called Dragon Ball in the first place. But anyway, My name is Gabe the Wolf, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like. If you want to keep up to date with my potential future content, be free to subscribe, and I'll see you whenever I do something with this channel next. Bye!
"たまのりしこいたいね」